Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio, and we've got the new Pokémon TCG Pocket set Extradimensional Crisis, which has just come out this morning, and that means we need to have a look at all the secret rares. For anybody keeping count, this is the third time I've recorded a video on a moving train, which is kind of becoming a bit of a habit at this point, which, I don't know, maybe it's a good thing, I guess we'll never know. But we'll start off with the regular Pokemon here. We've got the Blacephalon, which was of course revealed in the initial reveal of the set. And here we got free energy, 130, 20 to itself. With some of the tricks we've got, look out for Lucamine in a moment, this is actually something that could work. It's not stunning, but I don't hate it. We've got ourselves other Ultra Beasts though that I like a lot more, like for instance Pheromosa. I think Pheromosa is absolutely spectacular. Single energy, 20 to the active, 20 to one on the bench, and this isn't going to do huge damage. What it is going to do is get a bunch of damage on the board nice and early. Don't forget of course that when damage is on the board, that means Cyrus becomes a whole heap better than it was before, and I think this is one which is going to make a little bit of a splash. We've got that Rowlet that I showed you previously, and the Rowlet isn't exactly a stunning card by any measure. What it does have is ridiculous Okacheke artwork, which I absolutely adore. And you know what? That's good enough for me. I think this is one of the best cards we've had in Pocket. It's one of the ones that makes me a little bit sad, frankly, that it's never going to get a physical version of the card. Little bit sad. What can you do? We've got Alola Meowth looking absolutely adorable. It does get rid of a random Pokemon tool from your opponent's hand, though, so, you know, there is potentially a little bit of use here. And when I say a little bit of use, I really do mean a little bit of use. And then we've got Celesteela. You gotta love Celesteela. If you're going to be playing Ultra Beast, Celesteela lets you switch your Ultra Beast in and out. That is going to be awesome. We are a big fan of Celesteela. And that's it for the regular Pokemon. There really aren't very many of them coming around here with the secret rares, but we do have a bunch of EXs, like for instance Tapu Koko. Now I told you this previously, I'm going to tell you again here. As far as I'm concerned, this is one of the absolute standouts from the set. Single energy, 20 damage, but you get to attach an energy from your energy zone, which means that when you get to turn 2, you attach a second energy, all of a sudden you're at free energy, you're hitting for 90. If you go second, this should be a pretty consistent turn 1 20, turn 2 90, turn 3 90, and so on. I adore this Tapu Koko. Don't love the fact that it caps out at 90, but, you know, from turn 2, you don't really need to attach to this anymore. Attach to something else, you'll be fine. And yes, there is a special fancy version of it as well, doing that whole kind of gliding over water thing. I don't know. Sure it's going to be cool. Now, we've also got ourselves Buzzwole here. I adore this Buzzwole. I didn't like it so much until I saw some of the support we were getting, like the aforementioned Lucamine. 2 energy 30 is fine, free energy 120 is good, plus you got 140 HP on a basic Pokemon, which is frankly none too shabby. Add that all up, and it's cool. And obviously with Buzzwole being the poster child for the set, being the one taking center stage on the booster pack, it was always going to get the immersive card here. So yeah, we got an immersive Buzzwole. Who doesn't love the immersive Buzzwole? Now, there is a Lycanroc coming in here. I'm a little bit interested in the Lycanroc, I'm going to be honest with you. Free energy, 130, discard an energy from it. Yes, it's a little bit expensive, and no, 130 won't KO everything. There will be a few things out of range, which is a little bit sad. But 150 HP, you're hitting a decent typing, because fighting hits quite a lot for weakness, and the free energy is a little bit of a pain, but once it's on there, this is going to be a very awkward Pokemon to take down. But I gotta say, I love the special art here for the Lycanroc. It's a very traditional kind of wolf, standing on a cliff, howling at the moon, or the sun, I suppose, or the dusk, because it's dusk form. Look, I think this looks cool. I think a lot of people are gonna love this one. So you know what? That's good enough for me. Now, one which I wasn't expecting is Nihilego getting the gold card. Now, I said we're out of regular Pokemon, and I suppose we are, but then we got Nihilego coming in here, and this isn't a regular Pokemon getting a regular full art card, so to speak. This is a regular Pokemon getting a gold card, which generally doesn't tend to happen. Gold cards tend to be for the big fancy EXs. Here it's on Nihilego, but it is got an ability that lets poison, do an extra 10 damage, and it doesn't say it's limited to one, so you can have 2 of these down doing 20 extra for poison. I don't know why Nihilego gets a gold card here. It seems a little bit weird to me, frankly, but I'm not complaining about it because it looks kind of cool, and I know there's a lot of Ultra Beast fans out there. They are going to love this. One which is not surprising is Guzzlord. Guzzlord EX we saw before. I think this one is potentially redonkulous. 2 energy, 30 damage, but you flip a coin until you get tails, and you discard a random energy from your opponent's Pokemon, active Pokemon, for each heads that you hit. So, sure, you've got to get a couple attachments before this gets rolling, and that's a little bit sad, but when it does get rolling, you could potentially be getting rid of all of your opponent's energy here, and against decks with limited energy acceleration or ones that have had to take a couple turns to get rolling, this could be absolutely devastating. We then got 4 energy, 120. That's very expensive, but hopefully, the theory here is that the first attack buys you time, and then the second attack is where you do your smashing. And yes, 170 HP on a basic Pokemon is absolutely absurd. As is the special art here. This is one of those ones which I think is going to be very, very popular. It's kind of weird to see Guzzlord, this big kind of Pokemon famous for eating everything, rampaging through his city, and then there's jam on toast and a cup of coffee at the front there, which I don't think would sate his appetite. Never mind. The other one we've got here is a Alolan Dugtrio. We got a full art, and we got a special art, and I'm putting this one out right at the beginning because I think this special art is absolutely absurd. It is one of the coolest ones in the set. It's really giving those Alola vibes, and this is an Ultra Beast set. It is an Alola set, so seeing those Alolan vibes makes me very, very happy. Plus, I think this one could be fun. 2 energy, flip 3 coins, 60 for each heads. Now this is a classic, it's flippy, so there's going to be games that's absolutely terrible, and games that's going to be great, but it's a stage 1 that attacks for 2 energy, so this is going to work in a lot of games, and then, honestly, if you flip 2 heads and hit 120, that is going to be fine. There's going to be games you hit 60 or nothing, and that's going to suck, but the games you hit 180, you're going to win, and the games you hit 120, you're probably going to win, and then you'll win a few where you hit 60. It could be worse. Also, I totally lied to you earlier when I said that we were done with the special version of regular Pokemon. I forgot about Silvally, which is very sad. 2 energy, 50 damage, but if you played a supporter from your hand during this turn, you do 50 more. Now, admittedly, you're not necessarily going to have a supporter every turn. There will be those turns you don't draw into them. But where you have them, 2 energy, 100 on a single point stage 1, I'm just telling you, this one seems pretty fun. And I know I said this earlier, but I really mean it this time. That is the end of the regular Pokemon. We do have ourselves a couple of supporter cards though. These just come in full art. No immersive supporters here. That was for the last set, not for this one. Like, for instance, Gladion. Put a random type Null or Silvally from your deck into your hand. Yeah, well, we know Silvally needs to play a supporter card. This seems like it's going to help. We've then got Looker. Your opponent reveals all of the supporter cards from their deck. I really like this one because it kind of tells you where they're going. And with 20 card decks, a lot of the time you're going to be able to see your opponent's opening Pokemon and kind of guess their supporter line anyway. But it's nice to have that certainty. And then Lucamine I keep talking about. Lucamine's redonkulous here. Lucamine, you can only play it if your opponent's taken at least 1 point. But then you get to choose one of your Ultra Beasts and attach 2 random energy from your discard pile to them. This is how your Ultra Beasts get rolling, and as soon as your opponent's taken a point, your consistency is going crazy, and hopefully, you get one of these in your hand, so as soon as your opponent does take a point, you are going to be ready to go. So some new things here. But then we've got some old. Once again, we got a bunch of shiny Pokemon. And I think we've now gotten to the point, take a look at the Arcanine line. These aren't new. I think this is something we can expect every set moving forward. Bunch of shiny Pokemon. So we got ourselves the Arcanine line. And I kind of love that they've given us a regular and an EX Arcanine. That makes me happy. We've got the full Greninja line, and yes, it's the one with that ability that does an extra 20 damage per turn. That one's seen a lot of play since it came around. We got a new Jinx, which, to be fair, has a decent attack. We've got the entire Pidgeot line, which is kind of cool. It's got a nice ability that, you get to switch out your opponent's active Pokemon, your opponent chooses. It's not seen a huge amount of play. But then a Pidgeot EX as well to go along with it, 20 damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon plus 80 standard. To be fair, it's not actually seen a lot of play, but still. We've then got ourselves Aerodactyl, one of those ones that looked incredibly fun. Stops your opponent playing any Pokemon from their hand to evolve, but it's not proven to be as good as we had hoped. And then we finish off with your Shiny Celebi, which, to be fair, Shiny Celebi has been great. It's one of my favourite EXs we've had so far. Flip a coin for each energy on it, 50 for each heads, and yes, I know it's another flippy attack, but I've won a lot of games with this one, and I'm sure a bunch of you guys have as well. So there we go, bunch of new Ultra Beasts, bunch of new special arts, full arts, phrase them how you will, a new gold card, a new immersive, and shiny Pokemon are apparently here to stay. But I've shown you all of them now, so now it's over to you guys. Tell me which of these you're excited about, tell me which ones you want to be pulling, go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and Pokemon Pocket and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.